Welcome, Knight Raynor.
Yeah, cut the pleasantries. What is this place, anyway?
This planet is known as Balde. It's a rather obscure world, and I've used it as my personal retreat for years.
A man of your status spends his free time in a cave?
Not what you expected?
I guess I thought you'd live a little more, I don't know, glamorously?
Not an unfair assumption, given the reputation of my peers. However, I tend to prefer a quieter lifestyle.
Huh. So what do you want?
What do you mean?
You said we could help each other. Something about needing to protect your interests.
Well, that's just it. I have plans for the future that will be greatly disrupted if what happened to Taris was to spread throughout the rest of the galaxy.
Yeah, you and everyone else.
Grand plans, Knight Raynor.
For the banking clan?
Not quite.
Look, if you're just gonna keep jerking me around and not answering my questions, then I'm just gonna...
What do you know of the Sith, Knight Raynor?
The Sith?
Indeed.
They were an enemy of the Jedi Order, a dark side cult. But they've been wiped out for like 1,000 years. What do they have to do with anything?
Around 4 millennia ago, there was a Sith Lord who was known by the title of Darth Nius.
Okay.
As a young man, Nihilus was present during the activation of a superweapon. Hundreds and thousands perished that day, but Nihilus, he survived, you see. The suffering he witnessed that day altered him. He became a living wound in the Force itself. From that point onward, he was cursed with a ceaseless hunger for pure Force energy. He was eventually trained to harness his ability, of course, but for all he consumed, he only craved more and more. It got to a point where he required the energy of entire worlds to satiate his growing appetite. By the time he was finally brought down, he had drained the life of at least 3 planets.
That's horrible. But like you said, he was killed, right?
Incapacitated, not killed. Nihilus's hunger became too much for his physical body, and thus he was forced to abandon it, imbuing his very spirit within the mask he wore.
Oh, Force.
Upon his incapacitation, the mask was hidden away, hopefully never to be found. But there has always been a looming possibility of his return. And, unfortunately, it seems that possibility has come to fruition.
Okay, fine. Maybe this did all happen. Maybe you aren't lying to me in order to gain my allegiance. Now, assuming that is true, how would you, the head of a financial corporation, know this information when I, as a Jedi Knight, have never heard anything of the sort?
You expect the Jedi Order to be completely forthcoming with this initiate? Even with how callously they've handled the Taris disaster.
Look, I don't always agree with how the Order does things, but I expect them to be honest and not hide information.
Then you expect too much.